Hi, Transforming Ty here. Welcome back to another video. This is part 2, where I'll be going over the next tip of the 3 tips that I've got in my little mini series, where it's like video 1, 2 and 3, and the previous one we were talking about calories and how important they are and how to sort of, dial them in and get them where you sort of want them for yourself, basically, just to get the right calories and how you should sort of plan them out, how many calories you need, deficit, etc. This one, video 2, I'm going to be talking mostly about the next important thing, which is key, and that is consistency / time, because you do need both, because you need to be super consistent with your calories. You need to be super consistent with making sure you're in a deficit, making sure you're eating the right foods, the right amount of foods. But you also need to give it time, because you can't just say, oh yeah, I'm consistent for a day. But you need to give it time. And this is where I can't really pick it as 1 or 2, consistency or time, because to me, it's the same thing, consistency and time. Because you can't just give it time, but not be consistent with it. Because yeah, you can give it time, give it a year. But have you been consistent with that time? Do you know what I mean? And on the other hand, have you been consistent long enough for a period of time to see the results? So you need to be consistent, but over time. So long story short, consistency over time. So this is what we're getting into. And so it's pretty simple. Because it's easy to say, oh yeah, you need to be consistent with it. You need to make sure that you do this, that and the other, and just do it for a long time. But really, you need to sort of understand. And for me, when I was doing it, the many times I was starting my little journey or trying to lose some weight, I was never consistent with it. It was just an on and off thing. It was just like, yeah, I'll try it for a bit, and a few weeks, maybe a month or so, it'd stop again, because I've just not been consistent. I've just not given it time. I'm not giving enough time for me to sort of feel the benefits and see the benefits, and I just wasn't giving it time. So this is where I have to keep stopping. But this is where I was still trying to be consistent with it, because even though there's periods where I wasn't sort of eating the best of foods, I wasn't, in a deficit, I consistently tried. I keep trying, and many years later, it happened. Well, it happened years ago, gained some weight again, a lot of weight, and then this is where we are now, where this is my final time of gaining, extreme excess fat. Talking like sort of, massive stonage and poundage, in brackets, hundreds. So, of pounds, not stones, Jesus. So, but yeah. When I was sort of my bigger days, I was never sort of, it's easy to say, oh yeah, be consistent, give it time, but you really need to sort of understand this is a long time. You didn't gain 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300 pound, 10, 20 stone. You never gained that in a week, month, year, Yeah, it takes that amount of time to gain the weight, but you don't suddenly become big overnight. And this is where you have to make sure you understand that it's going to take that much longer, if not longer, to reverse the damage. But also, don't think of it as, oh, I've got to do it this amount of time or that amount. You need to look at it as, break it down to yourself, give yourself sort of mini steps, mini sort of time slots. It's like, it's like when you've got a busy schedule. You don't think, oh, I've got to do this. If you go, right, I'll give myself 20 minutes to do this. I'll give myself that long to do that. I've got to do this by this time. If you break your goals down in that sort of order and that sort of way, you can be like, right, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in a month, I want to be this weight. I want to be trying to move this much. I'm trying to break it down into sort of mini sort of goals to hit, which equals time, in the amount of time you need to sort of make sure you're getting where you need to go. So, for me, it's never sort of, I never felt like, oh yeah, I need to grasp time consistently, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it sort of clicks over time. And the way that sort of I found that helped me was just literally every day, taking it one day, one day, one day. And before you know it, you've been a few months. And this is what I keep saying to people when they ask me, you know, how long does it take me to lose this much weight, or how long does it take to understand this? You can't give that an answer. It's up to you as an individual to understand that this shit's going to take a long time, you know, and you just have to be consistency. You have to be consistent with it, because consistency is key. It's said so much, but it's true. This is why I broke it down into these 3 points for my videos. And one is important, calories. And then second, like I've said, is consistency/time. Because you have to be super consistent with it. Because if you consistently eat the wrong things and eat too much of the wrong things, you're going to go wrong. It's going to be the opposite. So, you know, you have to understand, you have to be super consistent with doing the right things. And you just have to just do it. And even if there's bad days, and there's going to be, trust me, there's going to be, you may be having one now, but trust me, the next day will be better, because this is the whole point of having to be consistent with it and give it time, because you just have to keep going, keep going, keep going. You know, from where I am now, 6 years down, from where 6/7, from my sort of start, even though when I started it, for me, I never thought, right, I'm starting, you know, this is going to take X amount of years. I just tried again, be consistent with it again, and it's starting to, you know, then I carried on, fast forward, time, and there we are, a long time later. But then for me to fast forward another few more years, I'll be X amount, because I'm putting in steps now to get to my next goal, my next target, my next XYZ, what I'm planning on doing. So this is what I'm trying to, you know, put towards, well, how can I say it? This is what I'm trying to basically sort of tell/help people understand. It sounds simple, but it really ain't, because, you know, in terms of what it actually is we need to do, it is simple, but to do it, it's not. And you just need to do it. Really, that is that simple. I mean, it really isn't that hard, because staying consistent, you just have to just do it. Really, you do, because you ain't going to get very far if you don't. So in the video 1, we've gone over calories. Video 2, we are now at, it's about consistency and time. So you need to make sure these are your main 2 keys you religiously stick to. And that will get you the majority of your results. Guaranteed. I'll put a higher stamp of approval on it, trust me. And then the next video is what I always like to call like a top up. It's something that I always recommend doing, and you should do it. It's not like maybe you should, but you don't have to do it to get to this thing, but to also say to a certain point. But I always recommend it, especially for when you're sort of finished losing weight, to say, because you're never quite finished, especially if you come from a very high weight. You need to understand that there's certain things you need to put into place to prevent things going wrong in the future. So in the next video, I'll be touching on that last step, which for me is my third, but also a very important one. But step 1 and 2 are crucial, because I stick to them even to today, because I've had to do it all the way, and I will continue to. Yes, it'll be different adjustments, but that is basically what I'm going to have to do forever, really. It will adjust, it will change up and down and this and that, but you know, it will get easier. It really will get easier, and life will just become enjoyable, you know? So that is the gist of that. So if you haven't been consistent, make sure you get fucking consistent, because trust me, if you're not consistent, sorry to break it to you, you ain't getting nowhere. If you consistently do the wrong things, don't expect greatness and results. If you consistently fucking push it and you do exactly what you know you need to do, I promise you, I guarantee you, and I pretty sure you can tell yourself and be like, yeah, I fucking am doing it. I've done it. Wherever you are, even if you're going to start, just tell yourself you're going to do it. And then just fucking do it consistently and give it time. Simple as that. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. It was a bit of a quicker one, but it's not, I haven't got to get into it too much about it, but you understand, like I said, this is the second one, super important as well. And yeah, keep smashing it, you know? Like I said in the last one, and I always will say, just keep going. Hard days are just that, hard day. Next day will be better. So, get out there and smash it. And if you haven't done it yet, get up and do it. And if you're continuing to smash it, good on you. Keep going. I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.